Okay. Hey, every time I let me make sure that everything is fine. Every time I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be on time, get everything sorted. The internet decides to mess me up. So online, been on trying to get everything sorted, put together, blah blah blah. Wait, this thing is in the wrong side. Man, this is my giant head. According to one of my friends, that my head is giant. The same one that abused my head last time is the same one that abused my head again. Anyways, so I set up everything, all that, then found out that we set up a bit too early. So then had to close it down, then set up everything all over again. Then my computer crashed, my tablet. So I had to quickly like boot it all off. It's crazy. But we're here. And I'm really glad that we are. So I'm just trying to make sure that we are also live on Facebook. Just make sure that we are live on Facebook. Ron is, I think he's trying to eat something because I just quickly threw something in my mouth because I hadn't eaten all day. I was quite hungry. I'm looking forward to quite a plethora of people joining because a few people have gotten in touch to say they'll be on, and I'm really excited about tonight's show. So, what are we talking about today? Okay, I was watching a program and it was about, what it is that people choose when they're trying to get together with people and that kind of stuff. And it's like, oh, I want a tall, dark, handsome, or I want a girl with boobs, with a bum, and beauty. And I don't know whether it's age. And I kept looking at her like, what? What are they talking about? That's got nothing to do with who you're going to end up with. They're talking about qualities, things that will stand the test of time. Tall, dark, handsome. What are you going to do with that when troubles come? What are you going to do with boobs, ass, and when illness comes? What are you going to do with beauty when you need to make decisions about your future together? What are you going to do? You need brains. You don't need beauty. I mean, beauty is good if it comes, but it's really more about having an intellectual thing going on. So anyways, I immediately called Ron and I was like, Ron, I think we have a topic because we've got to talk about the things that people look at. Is it an age thing? But then in the program, these were people who were in their 40s. Okay, it was Millionaire Matchmaker, right? Millionaire Matchmaker that I was watching. And these are people in their 40s who are still talking about, oh, I want a guy who's tall, dark, and handsome, and I want a girl with boobs, bum, and beauty. And I'm like, in your 40s, this is what you're still chasing. Are you serious? So, anyways, that's what's brought about today's topic. So, before we go into that, before I bring on Ron, well, Ron is here. And before he comes on, what happened today? Today was a good day because yesterday was a bad day. Yesterday I was in so much pain. I could not see I was my carer came around and I was like, look, I don't feel great, that kind of thing. But today is a good day. I actually went to work. I went to the doctors. The doctors gave me a very early morning call saying I needed to come in. um I did, and we'll deal with that. But the thing is, it was a good day. I went into the studio. I had training today. The training was so good. And then I was able to do a live where I was just playing music and just like really getting into the groove of things. So yeah, it was a good day, and I'm very happy. I'm pleased. I wish every day was like this. The pain's still there, but it was a good day. It was a good day. I didn't feel, even though I went to doctors and I think it was my state of mind is like, you know what? It's a good day. Ron, why are you hiding? Come back. We've got Francis also. So I'm just going to quickly set up all the banners and everything because I haven't had time to do that. So, hey, Ron. You're muted. Can you join us, please?
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, howdy, partner. So, remember when I called you, I was like, hey, I think we got a topic. And I was talking about the people who should know better, who are still going for tall, dark, and handsome and everything. Like, are you serious?
Yeah,
So,
there's only one
anyway,
guy to blame for it.
and who Walt Disney?
Yeah.
I knew it was Walt Disney that you were going to attack. Okay, we have people lined up, but before they join us, I can see Francis, I can see T, and I can see my girl, Olayinka. Yes, I can see her. Woo-hoo! You think I'm a feminist? You have now jammed the original Coco feminist. She's coming for you. Please, Yinka,
Okay.
I know you can hear me. When you come, make sure you show run. Shaggy. So, Ron, how's your day been? Very quickly, while you're talking, let me try and create this banner.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I'm always going to blame Walt Disney because
So you're always going to blame Walt Disney for anything that happens where it is tall, dark, handsome, where it
mm-hmm,
is romance, where it's love at first
mm-hmm,
sight. Is
mm-hmm.
responsible for everything. Okay.
Uh-huh. Who else will we blame? It's Walt Disney now. He takes all the blames. Even years after he's gone, they are still making such cartoons.
Yeah,
Uh,
but he made plans for it in his will. He actually made
yeah,
plans
that's true.
that wait, he actually made plans that um every single animated film that was done in his lifetime would all be made into proper films. He actually made it, like he made provision for it in his will to
And
pay
they're still
for it.
traveling around the world trying to capture different folk tales from different areas to incorporate it into, all the ones we see today are not really all the ones he had while he was alive, but they're still incorporating new ones and all that. But then
Yeah,
again, back to the topic. This is a serious one because I still see people making the same mistakes, when they want to choose wives. If I was with a guy 2 months ago, we were out. So we saw this very, very, very good looking guy. Very
mm,
rich, very good looking guy. So we're just admiring them from a distance. Then the wife came to meet him and he was like, the wife is not fine now. Okay, maybe yes, wasn't as good looking as the guy, but I just looked at him and I was like, do you live in their house? Do you know why he chose
Abi,
her? Must he conform to your standard of beauty, or what if she's beautiful inside and that's what gives him peace? Do you know how?
exactly,
If the guy had run the road before coming and ending up with this lady? Do you know what she has done for him? Do you know how loyal she is? Like these are the things that matter. Is these physical things don't last. It's just skin deep.
exactly.
It's like you really can't go on much with it because you can marry a Miss Universe today. I'm talking from a guy's perspective. You could marry a
Mm-hmm.
Miss Universe today, and she's all good looking, and everybody is looking at her and say, "Oh, you're the luckiest guy." Blah blah. And then again, she's bad mannered, ill tempered, no peace in the house. So, of what good is the whole beauty? Like, and funny enough, all these things are, you see, these things are baits for sex. Whether it's a big bomb or big boobs or whatever, they are all baits. At the end of the day, when you charge through the whole thing and life continues, you begin to wonder that, why did I make this a priority? It really doesn't matter. What matters is the sustaining power. What can you communicate with the person? Can you people reason together? I'm always an advocate of testing your spots, the anger limit. Whether it's a man or woman, test the person. See, because some people are
Okay,
walking cycles, like real psychopaths. You just don't know who they are until you push them over. In fact, they're not really screw tight until
okay.
something happens.
Before you say all your points, let me get people on. So I'm bringing on Francis. Francis, welcome to our show. I'm trying to add you on. Today this computer is not, it's not even allowing me to write out the topic, so I'm not. Ron,
No, I
can you
saw
write
it.
out?
It was there.
No, it was the wrong one. It was prenuptials. Can you write out the topic and send it to me as a private chat? Then I'll see if I
Oh,
can
okay. Let me
transfer
see.
it. T, thank you so much for joining. Olayinka, thank you so much for joining. Hey, yes, get them. Don't see you gingering my swagger, Yika.
Hello.
Welcome, Madam. Oh.
Good evening.
Francis,
Can you
please
hear
can
me?
you? Yes. Oh, we can hear
Yeah,
you
we can
loud
hear you.
and
We can hear
clear.
you.
Good. I wasn't so
Francis,
sure.
please can you put on your camera and your microphone? Same thing with T. And I've got PK. Kayode Atobatele, my darling.
Position, position.
Hey,
Hey,
T.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, so good to see you. You can meet my darling. That's my sweetheart right there.
Back to base.
Okay.
That's how you
Hey,
go.
Mm.
you're back.
That's how you go. That's how you gonna set me up. I will not be able to find wife. Make you stop this
But
kind.
where I'm your wife, whether you like it or not. I'm the only person that is going to marry you. So if you like, run from Kutuweji to Kafanja, you're mine.
Don't don't bring Shaniqua into this program.
Shadikwa is here. Okay, Ben, I can see you, but we have to, because you're only allowed 6 people. So once Francis or T, we are still waiting for you to unmute and also put on your camera. Then we'll be able to start interchanging. So, guys, welcome. It's so nice to see you.
I think you should make sure
So
that
the
you tell
topic,
people that they should wear.
unfortunately, the system.
People should wear their clothes first before they put on camera. You should tell them. Otherwise,
Abio, please put on.
you're
Please,
working,
put on clothes,
you're
oh.
working on assumption.
Okay, T,
You're working on assumption.
T has gotten in touch with me to say that, please just let the next person come on. T, why now? Are you afraid? Are you afraid? What are you afraid for? Don't be
let's
afraid.
see.
Who is
Do
T?
not be
Put on your
afraid.
camera, T. Let's see your face. Are you a man
Let
or a
us
woman
see you. Let
or,
us see your face.
or hermaphrodite?
Ah, me, I don't know. My heart is not there.
There are hermaphrodites.
Okay. Anyways, so the topic today is what qualities are needed when searching for a spouse or partner. And just to give a bit of context again, it was
Wait, sorry, Oti is actually pretty now. Why should they hide behind? Why is she hiding behind
How did
Avatar?
you see? How did you
I
see?
just saw one pretty person just now.
Whoa. Whoa.
What's going on? Natural beauty.
hey, my hand is not there.
That's like, you know when you do,
Hey, see,
you know that,
how are you?
you know
Hi,
that kind of joy, girl. Everybody, na 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 na.
Don't listen to that man singing, oh. Don't listen to him. He's just trying to play away game. It's not going to work. Will it work? Do you hear me? Will
Okay,
it work?
about burning somebody's cables.
Okay, so I'm trying everything. Just
So
give me.
remaining
So
Francis.
let me. I don't want to waste people's time because I know that people are busy. So basically, today's topic is what are the important qualities to look for when searching for a life partner. And the context is I was watching Millionaire Matchmaker, and she was asking them, what is it that you want in a partner? What is it that you're looking for? And the guy was like, and it was interesting because there was a guy and a girl and a guy and a lady that she was matchmaking. And the guy said, oh, I need her to have, a big bum, a nice rack, the way he said it, a nice rack, a nice ass, something in the dump truck, and also to be beautiful. And she was like, is that all you're looking for? That's all you are looking for in a partner? And he was like, yeah, well. Then he was now stuttering. He didn't know what else to say. This guy was 40 years old. and he was stuttering. He didn't know anything else beyond boobs, bum, and beauty. When he came to the woman was like, "Oh, I need him to be tall, dark, and handsome." And then she was like, "Is that it?" And I was like, "Oh, generous. You know how to treat me nice, take care of me." And it was all me, 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 do me, take care of me, everything. There was nothing about, let's be in a partnership. And immediately I was like, Ron, I think we have a topic here to talk about, because it just sounded crazy to me that grown people were still talking about tall, dark, handsome, and boobs, bum, and beauty. So let me start off with Olayinka, because
Wow.
she's my girl. What are your thoughts on this?
Good evening, everyone. Thanks, Abby. Thanks for having me on your show today. And
No.
Francis, thank you for bringing me on. I really appreciate it. Well, I think I've done posts regarding this on my page sometimes now, and I've always said that when you're looking to settle down, when you've decided that this relationship, I want a committed one, and I want a future with this person. There are some basic, not really, but there are some things that you need to look out for. There are some things you need to check. Sexual chemistry is one of the things that for anybody you want to make your wife or your husband decide that this person, I think, is the one. The first thing I always talk about is the sexual chemistry. Are you attracted to them? In as much as that is not the only thing that sustains a marriage or any relationship, it is very important. And that is why I don't subscribe to people telling you, "Oh, I prayed and I saw this woman in a dream and is your wife." I don't believe in such. When you see somebody, you've got to be attracted to them first. And if you're attracted to them and you're like, "I like this person," and the Christian, so see.
Hey, Candy, sorry. Candy is stuffing her face. Sorry, Candy.
So,
I just looked, I saw you and I put you on.
You have to have this chemistry. You have to have this chemistry with this person, and whatever it's. I don't know. It's very, very important that you look beyond the looks. The looks, don't get me wrong. Nobody wants to marry or be in a relationship with an ugly person. Nobody sets out to be. But you've seen people over the time. After a while, they start talking, they start chatting, then they start looking beyond the looks of that person. Because I've always said, tall. There are the post I did was tall. There are so many tall, dark, and handsome dumbasses in town these days, and you need to be very careful. You don't. And apart from the physical look of a person, don't forget that part of what you're passing on in your genes is intelligence this person is coming home with. They are going to be passed on to your children, the genes this person carries. So when you're stuck with tall, dark, and handsome dumbass, or beauty but a bimbo, you are going to be passing these genes on to your children. And if at the end of that, that's why some people, after they found out that, okay, after they get married, after the honeymoon period, there's nothing else. They are bored out of their mind. They don't have anything to talk about, because all they've concentrated on is the big breast and the big bums. And then the lady sits there, she doesn't know which continent India is in, from which continent, So these things are very important, and I keep saying it. One of the things you look out for is the sexual chemistry, sexual compatibility. Very important. You look at, are you on the same wavelength intellectually? And intellectually, are you on the same wavelength? Where it is very easy for a man, it's always easy for a man to pick a lady up that is not as educated as he is, and brush her up if she's willing. The word is if she's willing. There are some women that are not willing. They don't want to go back to school. They don't want to know more than they do. They just want to sit at home and watch Telemundo. They don't, the little shop they sell, their provisions is all they are concentrating on. They don't think about going on social media and, and selling. They don't think about, they're just happy with their lot. And if you're a man that you're like, you see your woman doing more than that, you see your woman handling business, handling things, and because you want to marry a virgin, because you want to marry an innocentee, because you want to marry a woman that is not what's that word now? That I don't want to use sexually active, but a woman that is not sexually aware. Because so many men, because this is what they want, an untouched woman. A woman that is innocent in body and soul, spirit, and everything. And some of them, when they end up marrying these women, after the honeymoon period, you now see them going back to their side chicks. They are more out there. They know stuff. And because they found out that the beauty is not enough. Beauty can only go a long way. When you come back from work and you're tired.
Sorry, it's a bit hilarious when men go around plowing everything in sight, and yet they're looking for untouched women. Like,
Yes.
If every man is like you, then which woman will be untouched now? So I can see PK moving his head like, I don't like this one.
Also,
no.
this is not only men, and there's some women out there too. All they want to see is a man that has a nice ride, that dresses well, that wears Gucci, that wears the best thing. Yeah, that smells good. That's all they want in a man. Then when they now marry, they now marry the man. They now find out that there's nothing in common with such men, and that they have very different hobbies. They have very different interests. Some is as bad as they can't even sit down and watch the same Netflix. They can't even watch the same movies. They can't sit down and they have nothing to talk about. So these are the things when you are dating somebody, and that's why when you're dating somebody, please, I know you want to know you are sexually compatible, you want to try them out, but sex does not hold a relationship. It's part of it, but it's not the all of it. It's not. What percentage of time are you going to be having sex when you're together? What's the percentage? Yes.
I can see people bouncing in. I know Ronald is like, because he's the resident reverend father in the house. So you see that sexual compatibility that you're talking about. He is biting all his body as you're saying it. Then PK is the resident Olosho. If you allow PK, he will marry 50 women. So he's like, So they are both extreme spectrum. So PK, tell us what you're thinking, because you're vibrating when you're sitting down. Go on.
First of all, at the risk of derailing this whole conversation, my grandfather had 8 wives. So please do not go against, do not go against the way my father was raised and his grandfather and great grandfather was raised. So at the risk of derailing that. Now, Olayinka, you actually captured almost, in fact, you captured everything. It's almost like we can just shut things down, right? And go home. I think you captured the core.
We can't do.
The only time you started going off was when you are now saying that sex is, you're trying to deprioritize sex.
No, I'm not. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying the scheme of time, the time that you spend together with your spouse, that you actually do the living together as husband and wife. And wife.
Okay.
Because sex is important. Don't get me wrong. Yes. It's very, very important.
Yes.
But what I'm saying that
it's right after number 1.
Okay, PK, tell us what you think the arrangement should be.
Well, the arrangement is actually dependent on what your love language is. That's really it at the end of the day. So for the person who it is gifts, right? The man who is always buying stuff is the most lovable man in the whole world, right? If your love language is gifts, it's like, oh my goodness, he bought this for you, he bought that for you, right? And that you'll find a lot of that. Maybe you find a lot of that. It's common a lot, maybe in Nigeria more. But then you also have the person who is like, I don't need your money. I just need your time. Right? And so it depends on what your love language is. You actually have to look for the person who has your love language so that you'll enjoy the whole thing together. Right? So for example, I had a niece of mine visit with her husband. And I started to talk about love languages. And then I started to talk about touch, because touch for some, like I am mostly touch. And I started to talk about touch, that they can't even sit alone and watch a movie. They have to come close and lay or touch or put the head on. And my niece turned to her husband and said, I didn't tell him anything.
Oh, so that's her love language too.
Because, no, yeah, exactly. So I didn't know this. I was just talking, right? And then she felt the need to tell her husband that I have not told him, we're just visiting for the first time, I have not told him anything. I realized I was actually digging, into something that happens in their, amongst
in their private life, yeah.
So the love language of the individual is actually the most important thing that actually allows you to enjoy somebody else. So and depending on what it is, right? That's why if you say sex, sex is universal. But then for the person who it is touch, you need to touch the person. You need to be touched. You need a hug. You need a slap, and the bomb, if whatever that is. And if it is quality time, actually, you see, long distance relationships work a lot well when it is quality time, because just seeing the person and spending time talking, they feel very loved. If quality time is high up for you, words of affirmation.
But is that enough to sustain a relationship?
If you have those things and they're high up there, then there's a stronger likelihood that you'll be able to walk through any other issues you have, because this person automatically becomes your favorite person to hang out with. Actually, okay. The mistake a lot of people make is that they look at those qualities, then they go and make friends with the person who has those qualities. And that's a mistake.
But marry.
Then they go and marry somebody who basically they have the opposite. And that's usually where the problem is. So then they now start having emotional affairs. Where the first person you want to call in the morning when you have an idea or when you want to talk is that your, in quote, bestie. That's why you now have all these skits about, you said it's bestie. And your opposite sex, is bestie. But it does happen. That's because people go and friend zone the person who actually has the exact connection that they should have converted into to a lover, and then probably ended up marrying.
The same way you try to always friend zone me, but I will not agree for you. Okay. See, so what are your thoughts about this? I mean, we talk about the qualities. I don't know whether you're married or not, but what are the qualities needed? You've heard about love languages. You've heard about compatibility in many areas. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so basically, Olayinka and Kayode are correct, right? Love languages, sexual compatibility, all of that. But I think values matters too. Like, I am empathetic. Are you empathetic? What are your values? Are you kind? And I feel those things are important. Values are very, very important, because you may be with someone and fine, you're giving the person gifts or spending quality time with the person, right? But the person doesn't have the things that you think matter. So, example, I hate it when something is happening on the road and then people are whipping out their phone cameras to take pictures. I find it very irritating. Now imagine having a partner that once something is happening just wants to whip out his phone. I mean, the love would reduce for me, because I'm like, what kind of insensitive human being is this?
Yeah.
So I think values are very, very important, and I feel like if you find someone who has all the values, then automatically your love language would just, I don't know, it may not align, it may still be different, but because that person has like values that is thinking, okay, is this person okay? How can I make her happy? So automatically you'll be looking out for each other, and then you'll be willing to learn about each other's love languages and sacrifice. And I think all of those things are the qualities you should look for when you're searching for a spouse or a partner.
It's quite interesting that you say values, because on the program that I was watching that led to us talking about this, the guy who is into the bomb, the bud, and everything, he also is an Instagram fiend. Everything has to go on Instagram, everything. And he was told, set up a date with this girl. Do not go on Instagram. Do not talk about Instagram and everything. And he started well. They started baking a cake together and all of that. But he now said to the girl, this cake looks too good for us to bake and not put on Instagram. And next thing, he put the cake on her bum, made her pose with the cake on her bum, and put it on Instagram. And the girl still tried to be like, oh, you know what? He was a sweet person until the Instagram. But at the end, they said, well, she had to leave him because he was living too much on his phone and not in the real world. So, Candy, you've heard about values, you've heard about love languages, you've heard about compatibility. We haven't gone to our resident pastor yet. Only God knows what he's going to say. But what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I made it today.
Yay!
Well, I mean, I think everyone's pretty much, I mean, those that have spoken have pretty much touched on pretty much how I feel about it. Like, for me, values are very, very important. Like, no matter how attractive someone is or whatever, if we don't have the same values, if we don't, it's just not going to work. And it's those are some of the things that I always look for when I was dating. And it was definitely some of those qualities that I would not compromise on, that I saw in my husband, and when, you know, attracted me to him. Like, so, I mean, yeah, I don't know that I have much else to add, but yeah, attraction, like was said, is very important. Everybody that says, oh, physical, whatever, doesn't matter, it's a lie. It's an absolute lie. Like, the first thing you see is the physical. Like, that's what attracts you to someone. So it's very, very important, because yeah, sexual compatibility, I think, also ranks up there in a relationship, because that too can have an impact on your relationship if you're not getting it. And yeah, so yeah, those the sexual compatibility, the love language too. I don't really have much else to add to it. I can't, at least right now.
I want to ask a question. Now, I'm single, and I mean, for I think by the time I was 28, I pretty much figured out what I wanted in a partner, if I ever was to get into marriage. But although I mean, now it's just talking about a relationship. And thing is, I'm pretty short. I'm 5'1", and I always said, look, I don't care how nice and sweet and loving and whatever a guy is. Ron, you are not looking for me. I am still here. 5'1", but I'm still visible. Stop that nonsense. So and I was like, I don't care how nice a guy is, how this he is, how that. If he's not tall, I am not interested. So I got into this country, and but I was about 30, and I started talking to this guy through the internet, and we found out that, we actually had like connections from childhood and things like that. And sweetest guy ever. Like, he gets me. Intellectually we connected, everything. And I sort of asked how tall he was, and he was like, he's 5'6". I was like, I'm always dating like 6-footers. I've never gone anything lower than 6 foot. Well, okay, you know what? At the end of the day, he's a really cool guy and everything. And then we arranged to meet up, and I got to the train station, and I'm like, of course, because you have an image in your head, and I see pictures, so I'm looking this way to see this person. So I'm calling, and I'm going, where are you? I was like, I'm standing at so, and I'm looking, but I'm looking up like this. I can't see nobody that looks like that. So I now lower my gaze and I see a guy. I swear to God, he was maybe an inch taller than me or two, and he was on the phone. And it took everything in me to keep walking towards him. I honestly wanted to turn around and just go. Like, what? Anyways, I walked up to him, like, hey, and everything. And you know when you're sort of pissed, where you're still trying to be polite. So I'm like, oh, hi, how are you? And everything. I was like, oh, it's so nice to see you. And then we started talking. And it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy that within 10 minutes of me being mad and everything, and we started talking again, and he gave me a hug. I'm so embarrassed, actually, confess this. I will. I always say the truth, so I'll say it. His smell, it was like I have never ever been intoxicated like that. It wasn't his perfume, it was his natural smell. And I could have walked around with my nose planted on his skin for the entire, like, it was ridiculous. Absolutely. I was like, what is going on here? This is alchemy. This is magic. What's going on here? And we sat, and he came home with me, and we sat and we chatted till 4 a.m. We were just talking, laughing, everything. And I'm a touch person. And at a point in time, I curled up on him, and my nose was just on his shoulder because his skin was just intoxicating. And we just talked and talked and talked and talked and talked. And then, of course, we went to bed, slept off and all that. And then in the morning, I woke up, and you're thinking, okay, maybe because he had a wash and all of that, so his skin was smelling good. But of course, you sleep at night. I know I smell a bit funky in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And this guy woke up, and the smell had increased.
Oh, boy.
Hey, I was like, I'm in trouble. Like, it wasn't a smell, it was a scent. It was fresh, it was woody. I was, long after he left, I just took the bedding and I just wrapped myself in it. And I was like, this is ridiculous. That's something like that. What?
I said he needs to bottle that up and sell it.
I'm telling you. And unfortunately, he came around the state. All my friends met him. They were like, he's short, but he's a really good guy. And I'm telling you, I was willing to overlook his height because, number one, he met me intellectually. He met the funny that I liked. He had the kind of funny that I liked. And then he smelled so good. But unfortunately, he actually was like, we can't continue this relationship. I really, really like you, but I've got he caught something sexually that he didn't want to pass on. And I was so heartbroken. And I actually started researching, how can I still be with this person? Because I didn't want to let him go. But he was determined that we weren't going to continue. So I just thought about that. I was like, that's interesting, because he met some needs. But for me, the one thing I thought was the most important thing, which was his height, completely disappeared when that scent hits me. So the question is, like we have the expectations we have, the things that we want, the things that we believe that we need. And then something comes and derails you, and it's almost like you're stunned, like, what happened to me? Do you think that maybe, because I think about it, I say, was it? I honestly don't know what it was, because I've never had that experience with anybody else. But is it, the question I'm asking is, could it have been something that could ever have lasted, or was it just maybe some chemical thing going on in my brain? What do you think? What do you think about that, Candy?
I think you were horny.
Well,
I wasn't horny. Stop it.
I mean,
his height already killed the honey. Candy, please.
Yeah, you know what? I actually think it could have worked if it was meant to be. I feel like it really could, because we always have all these ideals that we have in our heads about, the perfect person. But the thing is that you can never find the perfect. I personally don't think you can find the perfect person. You have to be able to figure out those. I mean, I guess you said the height was important to you, but I feel like as much as we like to think some physical things are important, there are a lot more important things than the physical. And that's what happened with you, because you saw that, okay, yeah, he's not a tall dude, but he met so many other things that resonated more to you than his physical. Like, would you believe when I tell people that when I first, started thinking about dating and all this, I used to swear to myself I was only going to marry a Nigerian dude. Look at me now. Like,
well, your husband is becoming a Nigerian man.
More so than
I think you're getting your wish.
But I just think when it comes to especially the physical, I think that's an area where we can actually be more flexible and be compromising on, because there's just so much more important. Because, like, I've dated guys that are, drop dead gorgeous, but they open their mouths and that attractiveness just disappears.
Exactly. Apart from that, even some of them, apart from chatting with them.
Wait, hold on. You speak after Candy. Yes, Candy. Finish up.
I mean, they open their mouth or just they do something. I'm just like, whoa, that attraction just vanishes like right away. Like, dude, stay away from me. So I think definitely if it was meant to be, and if not for maybe that thing that happened to him, who knows where you guys would be today. So I definitely think when it comes to the physical aspect, it's not something. It's one of those things that I think we're prone to be more flexible about. Because like I said, I think there's just so much more to there's so much more that's important than the physical. So
yeah, you're right. Yeah, Yinka, you were saying.
Yeah, what Candy said is absolute. That's the truth. Some of them, they come into your inbox on Facebook, and they're like, "Oh, such an handsome guy." He says hello, hi, and then the next thing, he types some things on there. You're like, "Oh my goodness,
I am good."
What a waste! What a waste of handsomeness.
Hi, Uncle.
Okay. Like, oh my goodness, what a waste.
The resident reverend. He has doubled in size, waiting to okay, so Rev. Go on. Reverend Ron.
I don't even know where to come in from. Because when somebody raises something that is wrong, and I'm about to pop in and say it's wrong, another person corrects it. It's been like this. The truth is.
So, what did you think was wrong in what had been raised?
For instance, I don't believe in pre-sexual compatibility. I have my reasons why. Hold on.
I didn't say anything, did I?
Before you start rolling away from the chair.
He has his own wife now. Why would he not believe? He cannot.
Abi Idowu, that's his wife. That's why his wife is talking anyhow.
He has
No, I'm alone here. There's nobody. I'm not under duress.
He has won lottery, so now he can be telling the whole world that all of
this. No. Okay, it's from experience. That's why I'm saying it. Because when these things happen, you begin to reevaluate and look back and say, okay, was this really necessary? You see, this is the thing. Most of the things raised here, they are sweet. They are nice to hear. And it's something fashionable to say when you're around people who are looking for spouses or life partners. But the truth is, the slightest provocation, all those things will just evaporate. I'm telling you. And when I opened my opening remarks, I said something. In place of sexual compatibility, I rather do an anger test to know how screwed the person is. I know what I'm saying. We have people walking cycles everywhere. You think they are normal? They are not normal. Just cross the line and see what's going to happen.
We all have a bit of cycle,
No. Everybody's allowed.
This
one is psychotic. It is pure psychotic. You think you know people, but see the tall and handsome guys. Oh, he's tall, he's handsome, he's got a Jaguar. Oh, I like the way he speaks. Just argue with him and see whether you receive backhand. Just dirty slap.
But
And this is somebody women are dying for, that they really want to end up with, or you end up with a selfish. And some of these pretty boys, they are very. I'm not saying because I'm not pretty. I'm not answering. I'm just saying that most of them are self-centered. I'm not saying
Very
it's not jealous. This
narcissistic.
is not a jealous statement. It's just from what I've gathered so far. Some of these
So
good,
he
nice
says.
looking guys, they are full of themselves. Like they're really, really full of themselves. And you think, and when they marry you, they always try to remind you that you've been blessed to be my wife. They always try to. I'm just saying from the guy's perspective. They always try to always remind you that you are very lucky. I considered you. If you see all the 20 girls that were lining up before I got to, oh my God, you know, all these things don't matter. What really matters is, see, in the long run, marriage is a lifetime race, except for those who think that you're just going to enter and divorce. But really, really, the original design for marriage is a lifetime thing. So you should throw away the irrelevant things and focus on what you think. See, I keep saying, I'll repeat it for the 7th time on your show. Loyalty, very important. Duty and respect. If you don't have these three things inside, a man can be ugly, a woman can be ugly, a woman can be broke, a man can be broke. If these 3 elements are present there, you will weather the storm. If the guy is, what if the lady is pretty, and something happens to her, she has an ailment, and she becomes disfigured? How do you move on from there? Or she gives birth to one child, then from figure 8 she becomes, I don't want to use languages that are not appropriate. But you get what I'm saying. She doesn't look like what you saw when you got her. Or you said, oh, she's doing well in bed. Let me tell you something about men. We are very, 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 very practical. And we are polygamous by nature. Not me. I'm just saying the general men mindset. You can be compatible while you are dating. These girls are be do for
He's
bed.
looking at me like
the day the man gets seduced by Jezebel outside the marriage, or by a side chick or any form of Jezebel,
why is it a Jezebel that is seducing him?
Yes, because the guy is minding his business, trying to take care of his family.
He wants to be seduced. He wants to be
seduced. No, because he's sitting there minding his business. Yes, and Jezebel just comes to his house and comes.
Did I not tell you what happened to me when the first day I decided to wear a wedding ring? Because my wife was on me. My friend's husbands are wearing wedding ring now. I said, but I told you from day one I don't like jewelries. She said, no, you must. I said, okay, no problem. Just 1 week of wedding ring, I became very desirable. Okay. I had to ask one, why do you think married men are appropriate? He said, yeah, because you know how to take care of women and they are caring. You don't even know me. You don't even know if I just beat up my wife just now. You don't know. You already concluded that because he's getting the wedding ring, he's a nice candidate. So back to the basics. There are things that the character of the individual. In fact, that should be number 1. Character first. All these irritating what's the word? These irritating behaviors. I've just forgotten the word now. These irritating behaviors, maybe the person is snoring, or the person is biting his nail, or the person is digging his nose. They can be survived. You can wait.
I can't survive that, man. I can't survive that. Wait. A grown man digging his nose.
Wait, hold on. We've seen
how can you survive that?
I'm not the one doing them. I'm just saying. You can walk through it, right? But when the person is the character of the person is imminently flawed, it is a challenge. You barely make it.
I'm sorry. Look, let me tell you, no matter how loyal, wait, Ronald, no matter how loyal, dutiful, and what's the other one you said? If you're sitting opposite me every day on the dining table, the day I will use the plate and smack you.
Abi, don't let Instagram fool you. Don't let Instagram and social media fool you.
But I'm
Oh, okay.
sorry, I
Don't let
cannot.
Facebook or Instagram fool you. A lot of people are dealing with these yeah issues in their homes.
Mm-mm.
They see it
Ah,
every day.
no,
They
we will
know,
fight.
or they've just chosen to overlook it.
I can't.
It's true.
But
Learn
these
how
are
to
the things.
eat like
But
a
these are
human
the
being,
things
not a
that make
goat.
marriages fail. These are the. I'm sorry. These are the things that make marriages fail. That we think you overlook this, you overlook that, you overlook this. When you're
I
dating
don't overlook
somebody,
her.
these are the things you need to look at. If you know you cannot
How will
stand
you know
the
when you're busy
character
checking
trait,
sexual
if you
compatibility?
know you
How will
cannot
you
stand
know?
it, no, hold on. This is why I want to correct also. When I mention sexual compatibility, I am not talking
Okay.
that they should have premarital sex. This is where people mix things up. When you're dating
Yeah.
somebody,
Mm.
it is advised as much as possible not to introduce sex into it, because it makes it difficult for a woman to walk away from a relationship that is not
Or to
working
see
when they're
clearly.
actively sexually engaged, because sex tends to
Mm-hmm.
muddle things up. It
Ah,
does. So
wait,
when I'm
wait,
talking
wait,
about
wait.
talking about
Wait,
sexual
wait, wait. Let her finish.
when I'm talking about sexual compatibility, I'm talking about sex really. What do you like? How do you like to be touched? What do you enjoy? We talk about this. You know what the person. What you ask your man? How many times do you think you will want us to have sex when we are married? You know, you talk about it. There's
Oh,
nothing wrong
okay.
in talking about
Alanika,
it.
if that's what you mean, if that's
There
what
is
you
nothing
meant,
wrong in
I
talking about
apologize
it.
for. If
So
that's what you
when
meant,
people,
I apologize for concluding.
it's okay. That's it. You're
I
not the first
apologize for
person
concluding.
to misunderstand it. Anytime people hear
No, me, I'm
about, and it's not really
apologizing
a
for
I want to
myself.
Christian
ask
thing.
a
I
Hold
question.
on,
apologize.
Happy. Let me quickly drop this. When it's not only Christians now that abstain from sex in relationships. There are people
Yeah.
that are not Christians that decide to. They just make up their mind that, you know what, this relationship is not going to be about sex. It's going to be about the real
Who's going to be
things.
listening?
And they decide between the two of them decides that, you know what, we're going to wait until we actually have sexual intercourse. So let's remove religion from it. There are many people that are not religious, they are not Christians, and they take this stance because they know that when you introduce sex sometimes into a relationship, it makes it hard for them to see who the other person is truly is, especially for we women. It's truly hard for them to really see who this person is, and that's when it's easier for us to sweep things under the carpet. When you know that there's something that is intrinsically in this person's character that you cannot stand, that you cannot endure, but because the sex is so good, you'll be like, okay, I can manage it, I will manage it, or I'll pray it out, or you look for an excuse just to go on with that relationship. But you find out that relationship that is you're not having sexual intercourse. It's very easy. That's why you see women in that kind of relationship. It's easier for them to walk away from someone that is not treating them right. It's easier for them to be like, you know what, I've had enough of this. So yeah,
You see,
that's my take.
Alaika, I'm beginning to like you, honestly, because we need to say these things. Really, we really need to discuss these things because there are a lot of single people out there. Before I got married, there's an elderly man that used to tell me that marriage is like a secret cult. Nobody will tell you what is going on until you get into it. And when you get into it, you think your problem is unique until you start speaking with other people and you're like, damn. So this is what this is all about. It's not as rosy as we thought. It's hard work. I keep saying it's hard work. It's not like it's the end of the world. It's hard work. And this, when you start sleeping with your intended spouse or the betrothed one, the ability for you to say no or the ability for you to see clearly becomes clouded. You will start saying he will start doing like this, like he wants to slap you. When you say shut up or you say the guy will raise his hand, you will see it because you're enjoying how he's twisting you in bed or how he's assaulting you. Your brain will not
No, I don't agree. And I'm glad that the thing has hooked his mouth so that at least I've got Happy on the line. T, do you have anything else you want to add to this topic?
No, no, no. So please, you
Okay,
can
so
take
I
me off.
will be
Thank
switching
you.
you for Abby if you don't mind. So
That's fine.
thank you so much for coming on to the show. I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And please don't forget, next week we'll be having another topic. So please make sure you come and join us, okay? Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
So we're bringing on Abi. Hey, Abi.
Hello.
Ronald must be steaming right now because he can't talk. PK, are you there? Okay, yeah. Okay, so this is the thing. At the end of the day, not the all the entire world isn't Christian. All the entire world isn't of a faith that is about, or abstinence or whatever. So I want us to cover for everyone. And the thing is, yes, when you meet someone, I personally believe, and this is not based on any religion, I believe that you should spend some time knowing each other, just getting to really enjoy each other as people before you introduce sex into the mix. Now, in some cases, sex gets mixed in quite early. You meet someone, you're having a great time, maybe at a party, or you meet at some picnic or whatever, and the chemistry is just wafting off like, and next thing before you know it, you're like, oh, would you like to come in for a cup of tea? Next to your clothes are flying everywhere. You do, your eye comes down, and then you're like, okay, so let's talk. So what kind of person are you? Well, you have to get that one out of your system first. So sometimes at the end of the day, sex is something that is part of who we are. And sometimes the urge is so overwhelming because you just have this chemistry with this person, and you have that, and then you can actually sort of reset. So I don't think there are absolutes to it that, oh, if you start off on sex, you will never ever be able to get anything right with the person, or blah blah blah. Or if you start with just having a conversation with this person, then yes, then if you introduce sex later, everything will be great. No, there are no absolutes to this thing. There are so many, twists and turns in the whole process of being in relationships. So I get where the Reverend is coming from. I know that that's his vocation. He has to follow the whole let's not have sex, let's be again, this is the question I wanted to ask Yinka before you come on. And I don't know whether it had been answered because I got kicked out. You're saying, you're not advocating for people to have sex before whatever because it mixes up things. But okay, everybody, all the world wants virgins to meet and get married. Now, let's imagine that the man is not a virgin. Or this has actually happened to me. I've been engaged to 2 virgins before. 2 men who are virgins, right? So I'm not. I've done things and they hadn't. Now, if we want to talk about sex, they know nothing. In fact, one of the guys I had to teach him how to kiss. He just opened his eyes like, and I was like, oh, Granny, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. I had to teach him how to kiss. And he was like, oh, okay, I see what people enjoy about this, because I used to look at it and be like, so someone who has no experience and you're asking them about sexual delights, sexual preferences, they don't know what they're talking about because they've never experienced it. So how do you deal with that on either side? How do you deal
every relationship is unique, and you have to, the rules of engagement differs in every relationship, and that is the thing you have to agree on when you go into a relationship with somebody. So the rules of engagement has to be there, and that is why if you're dating somebody that believes that you must have a premarital sex and you don't believe in it, then there's something fundamentally wrong in that relationship. So there's something fundamentally wrong. So like should date like. That's the way I see it. Like should date like. And when that was what T mentioned, that values are, I think somebody mentioned values. I think it was T before she left. So values are very important. You must have the same basic fundamental values. Things like religion. These are the things I always say: religion, things like that, you need to agree. You need to be on the same stance. If as a
But
couple,
there are
if you want,
people who are of opposite religions or even atheist and a religious person who have managed to make it work. Now they're not the norm. They're outside the norm, but they've managed to make it work. I know
that is
someone
why
who's married to
the
a Jehovah Witness and they're not, and it
the
works.
rules of engagement. It's always about the two people in a relationship. You must agree on what you are able to let go and what you are able to hold on to. So there must be an agreement that, okay, fine, fundamentally our values may be different in the things we believe, religion wise. I'm an atheist, you're a Christian, but there must be an agreement that, okay, you as a Christian, you will continue to practice your religion, your spirituality, whatever spirituality you are, you will keep practicing it. I'm not going to stop you, and you respect that. So there must be that agreement. And then you must also talk about when children come into the mix. What if we are going to have children? What are our children going to do? Are they going to be atheists? Are they going to be Christians? Are they going to be Muslims? Are they going to be Christians? So these are the things that people don't talk about. They just assume that, oh, everything will just balance itself out, and they don't. And it also comes with premarital sex. That's why some young girls, they go into relationship with some guys who keeps pressurizing them to have premarital sex when they know that it's against their religion, it's against their own personal convictions. And this is why I'm saying any relationship you are in that is against your own personal convictions, you have no business in such relationship. And I'm not here to judge anybody or to offer advice on whether premarital sex is good or is not good or whatever. All I'm saying is whoever you are in the boat with, whoever you are in a relationship with, whoever you are having, you decide that, okay, this relationship is going to be a committed one. You should have this sit down and talk about what its relationship is about, what you agree to, what you don't. And if you can reach a balance, then all good and well. It's always beautiful when two people from very distinct backgrounds, distinct beliefs, they come together and make it work. It's it's wonderful. But then when things don't get ironed out, when we don't speak about stuff and we sweep them under the carpet, this is where the breakdown relationship, breakdown in marriages occur.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. To some extent, I agree with. In fact, this last. Oh, that's Happy. I'm just noticing. Happy fast. Give me 5. Okay. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Candy, I hope they told you how much I fought to get you on the show. Did she tell you? I like frank people. I don't like people pretending. I like frank people. Anyway, back to what we were saying. The thing is this. It's
Before
true.
you go on,
and I keep.
before you go on, sorry, I don't know what's wrong. They had to leave. I actually wanted him to say something before he left, but he's gone now. Samuel, I was about to add you on, but then you've gone. Please come back if you're watching this. But Emmanuel Ohai says, I'm learning. Unfortunately, I came late. But don't worry about it. We've got you. And thank you for dropping a comment. If anyone else is watching, we can see that a few people are watching us, and you want to drop a comment, please go ahead and do that. So before you go on, Ron, I want Abi to say something. I mean, I know you've been listening, you've been watching. What are your thoughts about qualities that are needed when searching for a spouse or partner?
I think it's easier to. Good evening, everyone. My name is Abimbola. Also known as Abi with an H. Okay. I think it's easier for us to plan all we can. It's always about the two people, like Inka said. It's easy for us to say, even the talks, either you have sex before or you have sex after, makes no difference. I'm sorry to say that. It makes no difference. Now, from my religious point of view, even though I battle with it, I would say, oh yes, do not have it. And that's not even part of it. But in the real sense of it, I haven't seen people over the years who are not sexually compatible. then that becomes a question mark for me. But I leave the audience to be the judge themselves. I'm not going to talk about what to do, what is good for you. But in all fairness, the compatibility of sexual partners is one of the things that causes a lot of breaks. And I know somebody like Ron could say, what about our great grandparents? They did it that way and nothing happened. They were used to enduring suffering. So suffering and smiling is the order of the day. And so because they're suffering and smiling and no one's going to listen to them, they shut up. It doesn't mean that they're enjoying it. It doesn't mean that their life was perfect. Now, the generation that we have now is that, you know what? I suffer, I get out. I've been trying to check that is there any place in the Bible where they've written those marital vows? I've not seen it. Maybe if you know, so if it's not, it means that some group of people, just like some school of thoughts about COVID. So some group of people came together, looked at the situation. What can we do? What can we do? What can we do? And they programmed us, either knowingly or unknowingly, and we've been gagged. We are given that information. But it's okay because the society needs rule and order anyway. So that's about that. But in terms of qualities, I think it's all about personalities, compatibility. I keep saying that because what if you, I don't know, it's more deeper than just talking. So you will see some people, just the way they are talking alone, you just can't stand them. You see some people, but I think one of the things we have to focus on is going away from the rhetoric, the usual talks like it's tall, it's short, it's handsome. I'm one of those people, guilty as charged. I have my own I can't date fair people. I still have it on top of my head. They're a fair person. If you are looking, I'm sorry. But I'm there. And
Dangote is dark. Dangote is dark.
Yeah, and I think that is a bad thing. My dad was fair. And because I know that because he was fair, he's very charming to a lot of ladies and all that. And in my head, I'm thinking, I'm never going to date a fair person. And that was wrong. That's wrong because there's more to a person. Like somebody preached recently that I listened to, she said, we should not focus on the container. We should focus more on the content. So I'm not going to take a very ugly container, my choice. I like beautiful things. So, but at the end of the content, what does this person, the value system of this person, is it somebody that will be like, okay, let's do bad things because somebody is not watching us? Is he a liar? Is he a cheat? You can see all those things from the start. Now, sex or no sex, just like Ika said, could blindfold us. Particularly if somebody is has a degree in that area, it could make us think, oh, this person, I can't do without this person, but there's no one you can't do without. I said, God, well, if you believe.
Sorry, Abi. No, please, can you put on your camera and your microphone? I'm trying to add you on, but I can't because your camera and both your camera and microphone are off. So can you please put it on and then I'll be able to add you on. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, I think I'll be able to. Yes, I can add you on now. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so I just want to put this out there because I know that there's this whole Christian, and I was raised Christian. In fact, Ron and I were raised in the same church, right? Very strict. I in fact call it a cult. I don't think it's a church. I think it was a cult. And I stand by it. I don't care what anyone else says. I think it was a cult. It was stringent. It was hard. And yes, a lot of the teachings were very, very good, biblical teachings. But there were many, many other things that were destructive that I have witnessed with people that I think if it was truly a church of God, that would not have happened. So that's my personal belief. Anyways, but I also believe that, look, sex is very, very important in a relationship. And I personally do not really have any hard and fast rule as to when sex should happen. I think it's a very organic thing. And I know many Christian people are going to go, and I'm sure right now, Ron wants to find Koboko and beat me. But I believe that sex is organic. And if I meet someone today and the chemistry is popping, and because for me, I find
popping.
you know what? This is the thing. For me, a person's brain is the sexiest part of them. So I have to be attracted to this thing first before I'm attracted to that one, right?
100%.
So if we are talking, everything is, I can say, okay, this guy gets me, and then the other one too is flowing. I will flow. I'm not going to lie. Okay? Okay, so people are already quoting Bible in the comment section. Okay, I'll read the comments out. and in some cases that doesn't even come up. I'm just enamored by that person's mind, that person's personality and everything before sex. Or many times I have dated people for months that I have never slept with, because it was really more about what was going on here and what was going on here in the heart than down there. But I don't believe in that prescription of it is only because not everybody is going to get married, and we're all sexual beings. So if not everybody's going to get married, how do the rest of us get our rocks off? You know what I'm saying? So that's my thoughts. Candy, I'm going to come to you, but I want to read out this comment. So Bumi Adefolari Cooper said, Hebrew 13:4. Let marriage be held in honor among all, and let the marriage bed be undefiled, for God will judge the sexually immoral and adulterous. The good thing is I do not have a marriage bed. I'm not married, so I'm not defiling anything. So I think I'm in good stead. So that's the comment there. So Candy, what are your thoughts?
That's a loaded
I
question.
hope I'm not going to get phone calls. Go on.
I didn't get married as a virgin. I was not a virgin. Yeah, my husband and I had sex before we got married. I mean, we didn't have sex on the first date. In fact, I thought it was never going to happen. I thought my husband was never going to make a move. It took a while, and I don't know. I feel like for me, I've never experienced that where sex is so good that I'm just like, I don't see your tomfoolery or whatever. I mean, I dumped a guy once because, I mean, the sex was good, but we went to the grocery store one day and he would not help me carry anything. He watched me lug everything. Like, I was just like, okay. Like, I mean, I was just like, okay, this is not going to work, you know, but everybody's different. I don't have those religious views. And I mean, I believe in being a decent person, you know, being good to people. Those are the things that matter to me. And these are the things that I saw. Like, I'm an atheist. My husband's a Christian. I mean, he's not very, like, he doesn't like go to church or anything. But he does believe in a higher power, and, you know, it works for us. He doesn't impose anything on me. I don't impose any. We have an understanding, and you know, it works for us. I think as someone has said, every relationship is different. You have to figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work, you know? So yeah, for me, I probably, for Nigerians watching, I've probably broken every single rule that I'm not supposed to break. Cause, you know, I lived with my husband before marriage even came into the equation, but it made financial sense for us because we were both always in each other's place. And so we figured, you know, but I will always still say that before I had sex with him, I knew this was the guy I was going to spend the rest of my life with. Like, I already knew it. I knew it before, you know, we did eventually. I knew it that this was the guy I was going to spend the rest of my life with. So, yeah, that's.
Oh yeah, again, that works for you, and yeah. I mean, your husband is one amazing guy, I must say, and he's such a great dad. The way he loves on your kids, oh my God! I when I watch you guys' videos, I always get this warm fuzzy feeling inside. Like, this is so good, you know, and you're very truthful about even when you have your arguments and everything. You don't hide that. You know? Yeah, so you're very truthful. It's not all butterflies and Walt Disney as
No,
Ron.
Why I
Ron
said
is
she must come
it's
back.
real life. It's real life. So
That's why we want
you
Candy
missed out
always.
on us.
Candy does the cake.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
I try, it's just work. Some days I finish early and I'm able to jump on and
Yeah, but at
thank
least
you
you
for
still come with
the
the truth.
reminder. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
you
yeah.
still come with the
Yeah,
truth.
that's the thing. That's because
Always.
Ron was like, get Candy or I will kill you. So I was like, okay, I will do
Candy and
everything.
Abby, sir, Candy
Candy
and
and
Abby.
Abby. Hey,
Okay. I don't want to
I
create
was
tension here.
harassed.
Candy and Abby.
I was harassed
I'm
to an
still
age
looking
of
for
my life.
Dangote's number anyway.
So that the two of you know how important you are to Ron. I was harassed. And I know that now he's going to be harassing me over Yinka. I already know it.
Can I jump over this train? I think as Africans, we make sex look like something very big. I'm inclusive, so don't take me out. And I think maybe when we probably get to heaven or hell, wherever I reach and every one of us yeah. Well, when we get there, I think they are going to put Africans, everyone especially, and
exactly.
I'm just imagining, because the way we see, I still, don't get me wrong, every of those spiritual, religious, whatever, is still in me, myself, but in my head, in my knowledge, in the things that I've learned, they are contradicting. Because I'm thinking, why are we making these things as if, it's a do or die affair? You sleep with this person, not with this person, so what? Go away, move to the next person if possible. We make a big deal out of nothing. Like I said, I am inclusive. So it's high time we kind of educate ourselves to say that, you know what, if you don't want to do it, don't do it, but don't make a big deal out of doing it. If you don't want to do it, if your religion is going to affect you, if that's what you want to do. But the thing is, if you are going to stand on the religious, under the religious pretext and all that, like a man, somebody would say, oh, and excuse the person that was saying Hebrews, wherever that she quotes, I respect our understanding to that. But you know that some person who will quote the same thing, we still get home and beat the wife. Some person who will play the same quote will still get somewhere and cheat on the husband. Then we every little thing
and steal and all kinds of stuff,
Because
by the way, she's already said be prepared to get my phone call.
Yeah, call Abby. She needs it. But you know what? In truthfulness, what we are saying is this: we focus so much on things that don't matter.
Exactly.
We important things. Look at what Candy said. She said, I knew this person. How did she know? What is telling her things? These are the things we need to work on that instinct, on something that would give us that assurance that we can see that this person looking beyond the face. Looking beyond the face. Oh, this person, he's tall, he's short, he's green, he's yellow, has money, doesn't have money. What does this person have upstairs? Is this person, do we share the same value? Do we do the same thing together? When we have thought about that, then we can be talking about that. One's like, for me, I always say this, for me, sex to me is like icing on the cake. So if all you have is sex, just get out. Because it's nonsense. Do you know what I mean? If that's all you have, every time you are talking, it's all about sex, then get out. That means you don't know what name to give you. So you have to have empty. You have to be intellectual. You have to have focus. You have to know what you want for your life. I don't need to nurse an adult baby in my life. I already have children, so I don't need an adult baby. Babysit yourself if you need to. Work on you. Go and get healed. Do what you need to do with your life, and be free. So if we
it's like that thing of that skit that they do and say, what do you bring to the table? And the guy just unzips and drops his junk on the table, baga, and thinks that's enough. Like, are you serious? You have to have a lot more. And that's why I say, for me, the brain is the sexiest part of a person. The brain.
Can I chip in before we get carried away?
You ask some ladies
And I keep,
about what they brought to the table and all that, and all they will tell you is that, I brought my body, I brought this, I brought that. That's why I said the word. We shouldn't focus on things that don't matter. It's good. Sex is enjoyable. If you enjoy, if you have good sex, it's your brain, it works wonders. Don't get me wrong. So let's not make it look like it's a big deal or something. But at the end of
Okay,
Abby, can I ask you a question?
Reverend Ron is like,
Can
I
I
need to
ask you a
speak.
question?
So,
is it me?
I'm not a reverend, or I've not been
Yes.
ordained anywhere. But I love God anyway. Now, let me ask you this question. Would you rather nobody quotes the scriptures to you?
All I'm saying is this. There is so this person said, so that don't leave the dead, God doesn't want this and all that, that. Yeah. I'm sure Abby knows this verse, right? I'm sure she knows it.
We don't
Oh, yeah.
know. We don't know if Abby knows.
No, Abby does know it because she's already mentioned that she came from, a church-like,
Just
cult-like.
declare the church a cult.
No,
Okay,
but
let's hear Ron's view on the male
Okay.
perspective.
Okay,
Okay,
so this is the thing.
Ron's fans are shouting for him. Okay.
Okay, this is the thing. This is the no. Abim Bola is still my person now. Okay, now this is the thing. The scripture, and I said this to Abby 2 days ago. Okay. It is true that everybody can become a Christian, and you are not meant to force anybody to become a Christian. A Christian is a willful, you must, just like Candy said, her husband is Christian and she is atheist. I believe that this day and age, she will be respected by a physical Christ, right? Now, here is the thing. She already knows that she cannot cope with the tenets written in the scripture. So instead of deceiving herself, she already disconnected and said, no, this is not what I want. This is what I want to do. It's a decision she's made, and I respect her 100% for it. Am I going to do what she's doing? No, but she's honest enough to decide what she wants. That's point number one. Now, point number two, that book of scripture was not written to please anybody. It was written to please only the Most High, not anybody. If you ask me to write scripture, the things I'll write inside that scripture, everybody will just be partying morning, day, night, party morning, day, night. It'll be fun 247. But then again, I'm not God. That's the point. The scripture wasn't written to please man, it was written to please God. So the day you wake up and say, okay, I have decided to follow Christ, it's a decision that you have to follow. You cannot cherry pick what you like in scripture and say, this one, to pray to become sick, I'm going to take this, I'll drop that, I won't take this. No, it's a decision. We're all adults. Nobody is carrying koboko to follow you and say, you must go to church. If you don't feel like going to church, don't go to church. If you don't feel like being a Christian, don't be a Christian. It's not by force. So I need to get that out of the way. Then sorry, Abby, I'll be quick this time. And secondly, thirdly, the issue of the sex before I know, Olayinka didn't say sex actually, but I'm just trying to go back to the topic of sexual intercourse. See, to be sincere with you, even with my own experience, I know it could be male or female. It's dangerous when you cross that line when you are dating, because it's like when you start having sex, right, during courtship, you start feeling most people, not everybody, just like Abi Bola said, not her or Candy, but most people tend to feel like they've taken a mileage immediately after sex. They feel like, we've already walked this walk. Am I going to go back again? How do I come back from this? This is too good. The guy flicks his finger on your face. You'll be like, he didn't hit me that hard. He was just trying to get my attention. He taps you on the bum. He didn't stop. The next thing becomes beating and abuse. Because the time you were supposed to open your eyes and pay attention, you were busy fantasizing about how he was spinning you in bed, rolling you and turning you into a python or whatever. You're not paying attention. And whether you like it or not, sex is a powerful tool. Sex is a very, very powerful tool. A lot of manipulation takes place during sexual intercourse. If you don't believe it, if a woman wants you to pay her more, a side chick wants you as a sugar daddy to give her extra 1 million, just like Mr. Macaroni. All she has to do is perform good in bed, and that's all. In fact, she doesn't need to do anything. Just rub his belly and rub his head. Daddy, I need 500,000 pounds. Is that all? I take now. Or the other way around. You can manipulate a woman through sex if you're very good. So let's not dismiss it as an irrelevant issue. It's very important. It's a powerful tool. God gave it to us. It's powerful. It depends on what you do with it. Responsibility.
I have a quick question because I'm just kind of reflecting on my experience. I don't know. Maybe also, I don't know if having, the age at which you start having sex might have an impact on that. Like, I like to consider myself a late bloomer. I didn't have sex till like my 20s, like till my 20s, like 22. That was the first time I did it. So I don't know if that has an impact on how you react to it, because I'm thinking maybe I know that, a lot of girls start having sex pretty young. And I feel like, there's some men who also prey on like younger women, like much younger women. And, those are the ones and they're easily manipulated because they have none of these like experience or worldly experience or whatever. So I'm wondering if also that has, something to do with it, like.
Okay, let me quickly answer you. Sometimes, and this is a real life scenario, sometimes late bloomers, even though they've not participated in actual sex, they've listened to loads and loads of experiences. They've been loaded with people's. That's not all experiences you will experience yourself. You learn from other people's experiences. It's not all experiences you will have to experience. Right. If you're a smart person and you see something going wrong with someone somewhere, you wouldn't want to repeat the same thing that person did. So so I feel that as though that maybe you had enough information. Again, Abby, sorry, 1 second. Again, Abby hates this, but I'm going to take us back again, back to the Stone Age, and there's a reason why I'm taking us back to the Stone Age. Abby doesn't like it, but I'll repeat it. All these our fights for sex to happen or not to happen is because of the society. Listen, UK, ancient, former Britain, former British, like former European lifestyles, they loved virgins too. All these things we're experiencing now are just new. It's not as if it was like this ever since. We all got exposed too fast. Wait, I'm coming. We're having access to things we are not supposed. I say we are not supposed to because those people did not have access to those things. So your opinion about sex or sexual encounter has been developed even before you have the sex. Those people those days didn't have that privilege to even know what was going on in the bedroom. It's just what their mom teaches them. My daughter, you're getting married. This is what's going to happen. This is how men are. This is how to please. You're just taking information from your mom or the women in your family, and you're carrying it to your. In fact, there used to be female. What's that word for mutilation? Where they cut off.
FGM. Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah. FGM.
Yeah, there were societies where they were practicing it in Africa and some other parts of South America and some other parts of Asia and some other parts of the world to dumb down, to desensitize the woman from going crazy, according to them. You understand? It's barbarical. I'm not endorsing it. But I'm just telling you where we are coming from. We are now free, exposed, and we have access to too many things. So those things we're being exposed to forms our opinion, forms our idea about sex. I don't know if I'm making sense. Since I'm just talking, everybody is frowning at me.
No, let me start. Okay, this is the thing. You like to talk about the olden days. Now, I need to let you understand, because I actually specifically went to study the etymological structure.
Please don't bring out a minor example. Make sure it's a general example.
No, not bring out a minor example. Structure of relationships before the advent of religion, because even the whole concept of virginity came with religion. In England, when it was the Vikings and all of that, it was very much a You know what? Because most of the time, these were people who were fighting to survive. There was always constant war, fighting to take over a place and all of that. So they didn't have time for, oh, I'm a virgin, not a virgin. Look, when
Abi, before you started, I told you
children, as
categorically, let's
many
not bring
children as possible.
minors.
So wait, hold on, because you know you were the one who went with the olden days. So I'm going with the olden days that you are loving
And
to
you
quote, that you
you
love to
cherry
quote,
picked the
right?
minor. That's my problem. You always do that. You pick
I'm
that
not, I'm
one.
not
That's one
picking the
you
minor.
want.
What I'm saying is, even the so-called virginity started because of religion. It was
No,
not a
in Africa,
it did.
on
It
African soil.
did.
Wait, hold on. On African soil, was there any white man here telling us to go and be Vikings and be raping women? No, we had a sane society. You don't go and take
No,
a man's daughter and
even
sleep
in
with her
our
without
culture,
marriage.
even in our own African whatever it
Yes,
was,
it wasn't happening.
The emphasis wasn't on a woman's virginity, because remember, think about this. Before the world changed, before the world, I allowed you to finish. Before the world changed and became a patriarchal society, most of Africa was very matriarchal. Women were the ones in charge. They actually chose the men they wanted to marry. They weren't handed over to men to be married off. They chose who they wanted to get married to. A girl could be with a man today and she decides that she doesn't want that man again, and she will call her women folk and tell them, and she will move. But somehow along the line, things changed and society started to become patriarchal. If it's there, the history is there. Go
where? Sorry, where in Africa? Please tell me where in Africa.
In Nigeria.
I hope you mention Ghana. I hope you're not trying to mention Ghana. I know where I come from. I know my 800 years history, and nothing like that ever happened.
You're talking 800 years. At least the Bible is over 2,000 years. I'm talking
so
over 2,000 years. Yes,
we should go
because
back to
I
the
know
Middle
this
East.
is talking about the olden days.
In
So
the
I'm telling you
Bible,
that
is there any
before the Bible, that's how it was before. So I've just said my own.
Okay, Abi,
we can continue.
To start with, we are going to work with general evidence and general information.
Yeah,
please don't manufacture anything again. Please, I'm going to pretend as if I didn't listen to what you just said now. So let's just continue.
All you need to do, just read it up before religion came. Read it up.
Okay.
The world was matriarchal. Read it up.
Okay. Call me a dumb person, but like you keep calling me reverend, I'll stick with scriptural evidence. So don't be offended, okay? Call me a dumb person.
That's what I'm saying. Your scriptural evidence is about 2,000 years old, right? And I'm telling you that over 2,000 years before
your Yoruba heritage, Uncle.
And now, isn't that older than the Bible?
Your Yoruba heritage, there was this dynamic of matriarchy, and it turns to
think about it. When have we ever had a queen since Queen Amina? Look at all the
I'm talking about Yoruba culture. I'm talking about Yoruba culture. Yoruba culture.
No, I'm talking about Yoruba culture. At least PK would know. All the Efusheta Yanimura, all the iconic women.
There were no dominant males
and
there.
I'm not even talking. What?
In all the Yoruba cultures, there was no patriarchy whatsoever from the beginning of Yoruba culture.
There was patriarchy, but what I'm saying is that not as we know it now, where women are basically just under men, and they're the ones who are just waiting to be told whatever. I mean, they wait for their men to leave them.
Was a queen. Abi, Queen Amina was a queen. She was a
but
royal.
I'm not even talking. I'm talking. Okay, let's remove Queen Amina.
There's Oya. There's Oya.
Sorry?
There's Oya, who is worshipped now, who they said was the wife of Shango. There's also Efunsheta. Then there's also Morimi.
These are all real leaders.
Right?
Morimi.
There was Morimi, actually. So they were very strong. When you look at it, they were very strong female characters within the society. In fact, some of them were so strong that they referred to them as men, basically. You know,
And I mean, some of them even dethroned kings.
Yeah.
They would walk into a palace and tell the king to get out of the palace, and he
I
had no
agree
choice
with
but to
you. No,
leave.
I agree with you. Okay, I agree 100% with this story you just said. But the point is, the fact that they existed does not mean the society was matriarchal. That's my point. Every
It
time in
was
history,
wrong.
we've always had strong women in every society at every point in time. There's always going to be strong women. Women are never ever weak and dull all the time. There's always going to be that woman that stands out.
Ron. There was a time when Africa had strong matriarchal societies. I know
That's
that
what I'm
you're
asking
struggling to
you.
deal with it. I know that the male part of it is like, no, it cannot be. We were always in charge. I know that you're struggling to cope with it. But just
I
go and
love this
study,
kind of
go
stuff.
and
I
study
love this
this
kind
thing.
of historical
Yes,
stuff.
just take your time after the show. Go and study, and then you study, and then you be like, "Ugh, okay, I know it will not sit right with you, but it was there. It was there."
Okay, so that I don't offend feminists and they think maybe I'm attacking feminists. That's not the point. I'm just trying
Right.
to
It's
stick
got
with
nothing to
historical
do with
facts. No,
feminism.
I'm just
It's
trying.
again.
It's a disclaimer. I don't hate feminists, too. I'm just trying to set this record straight. I'm trying to set the record straight. This is not a hatred or attack on anybody. I'm just trying to get it
Oh,
straight.
that's what I'm saying. It's
If
best you
you
go and
don't
study
support,
first
if you
before
don't
you come and
support
set the record straight.
equality, if you don't support equality, you don't necessarily hate it, but you don't like it. That's what you're saying, isn't it?
Exactly.
Okay, so anyway, back to the basics. Back to the basics.
Exactly. So back to what we are talking about.
Those physical things really don't. Those physical things, they really, really to be no my. Please, my people. I'll say my people. These physical things cannot sustain a marriage, and I know why I say
We've
this.
all said
I've
that
seen.
though. I think everybody said
Oh,
that.
Yeah, we've all
yeah.
said that.
Okay. So
But there
Yeah.
has to be a mix of both. You can't say, oh, it has to be all, all
I'll end
spiritual
by
and
saying that you must go with your eyes open. That's just suspend your heart
yes,
and open your
take off
eyes,
the rose
You
tinted
can't,
and
glasses.
I'll go with your eyes open.
you can't suspend your heart. Ron, I don't agree with that. You can't
It's a
suspend your
lifetime engagement, oh. It's not today, tomorrow. It's
no,
forever.
you can't suspend. You said suspend your heart
No,
and
I
go
mean,
with it.
like, be more because this is you're dealing with this
Ron doesn't
person.
believe in love before marriage.
That's not even the point. The point is this: you are dealing with it. Let's just assume that you go into marriage forever, for eternity, right?
Mhm.
Whether you see it in scriptures or not, that's a debate for another episode. But the thing is, you are going in for it for the rest of your life. I think common sense dictates that you must, at all costs, remove all distractions and find out who is this person I want to be with for the rest of my life.
Now,
Do not
because
allow
you're doing
anything.
that, Ron,
Yeah,
because you're
sex.
doing that doesn't mean that you now suspend your emotions. You cannot allow your emotions to overrule the whole decision, but you're not going to suspend your emotions if you're not connected to somebody emotionally.
It
Then
has to be
marrying
a
that person
connection.
is just literally dogma. It means that you're a robot and you're thinking one day you
Abby,
start loving your wife. That is that what you're saying?
okay. Abibola, do you watch Channel E on cable?
I don't believe in watching TV as such.
No, no, okay. There's a just in case. I just want to prove my point. There's a
Okay.
Channel E. Every other time, they are always announcing celebrity weddings, and they will tell you why the person marries the person, big ass, muscular tone, a toned body, fly 6 packs. I'm not against 6 packs, guy, because I'm big. Doesn't mean I'm not hating on them. I'm just saying, six
He's
packs,
jealous.
tall guy, muscular guys. But at the end of the day, after all this glamorous wedding and all that, it still ends up, and you begin to wonder.
Can I jump in there, Ron?
Hmm.
Have you not seen somebody that's never sinned before? Every time, all they've been doing is reading Bible, both husband and wife, and they met each other, both virgins. Have you not seen something happen to them before?
It happens, but it's not in a general percentage.
Talking about
But
general now.
celebrities are a very tiny, they're a tiny percentage of the populace.
Don't get it twisted. They control the society. whether you like it or not, they control the general society. Everybody looks up to. Oh, sorry.
So
Most
everybody is
people
going
look
to
up to
marry
them.
and divorce because celebrities married and divorced.
Wait, are you aware that? I know you won't believe this. Do you know that you're subliminally being controlled by these people?
No, not necessarily. You asked me if I watch Channel E now, and I say I don't watch it. How will I be
No.
controlled?
I was trying to paint a general picture, but since you're out of it, so I decided to go on ahead with the story.
Generally, that you've asked me that question now, that do I watch Channel E? And I said to you that I don't generally watch such things. How are they going to control somebody like me? And if I have somebody like me, like Abi, like maybe 20 of us or 30 of us that don't
Minority.
watch it,
It's still minority. You're still in the minority.
you can't tell.
But I'm telling you that there are more people in the world who don't have access to a television than people who do.
You know, I think 2 episodes ago, the last episode I was with you, I think I mentioned it. I said I disconnected from the general social media because of certain things. It's things I saw in comment sections, things desires by young people. I just started thinking that, like, what's going on? Is this how people will just keep thinking? Oh, okay. How are you? I like this girl with big ass. I want this. And next thing you say, that's enough reason. I'm like, you know what? Let me
Okay,
just do
Ron, can I
myself.
put you back to you? What when you were choosing your wife? What are the things that you're looking
I didn't
at?
touch her. Oh. Thank God, though. God is my
What were
witness.
you looking at? I didn't say, were you a virgin?
Oh my God, you're so petty.
Were you a virgin? Ron, were you a virgin?
No.
Okay.
That was a long time ago. I used to be a very young person back then.
After you had done everything you wanted to do, you now came and became a
time ago.
Christian.
I used to be a very long. Like that was the time of my life in sin. Oh my God! Even thinking about it, I
After
feel
you
like
had done everything you wanted to do, you now became a Christian. I won't let the rest of us hear one though.
no. Okay, wait. Please don't look at it like that. Please, don't look at it like that. I don't mean it that way. What I'm trying to emphasize is that I was sensible enough, even in my stupidity back then, to understand that, okay, see this madam, I want married. I can just leave her. The reason why I left her.
Know that this is the person you want to marry. What were you?
I was studying her. I didn't sleep with her. I was studying her.
No, that's not my question. What were you looking?
Sleeping. What did you?
Oh, okay. I was listening. I was having conversations with her. I was tempting her. I was testing her.
Hold on that thought. Aside from
tempting and testing her.
Wait now. Aside from that conversation that you were having with her, what prompted you in the first instance to probably
when I just saw her, I just saw a homely person. That's all. I just saw a homely person.
Hold on, Ron. So you have something at the back of your mind, which is homely, right?
I would say.
Wait now, if you want to diagonalize that, you are looking for somebody that who could be a mother to your children, probably your wife, somebody that's very homely, not outdoor person. Look at it. There is a motive. Now, somebody now choose big whatever that they want to choose, which is their own destiny, and you are thinking that was wrong.
No. The big thing the person chose is physical. The one I chose is not physical.
It's not. What? Because for you, when you were choosing, you chose what your heart desire.
I wasn't even looking for a wife. I was very young. I wasn't even looking for a wife.
You are looking for. You are not looking for an everyday. You don't want somebody that's too bubbly. You want an only person, which is what most men who at some point.
Okay, let me repeat myself. Let me repeat myself again.
Okay, let's not put one under too much fire.
No. Let me repeat myself again. As of that time, I was a very young person. So I had all those things. But when I saw this one, I just did that. Wow. So this is how it's going to be. I started thinking about my future when I saw her.
But
so after you had misbehaved.
Oh, those other ones? No, I had to leave them now. What am I still doing with them again?
Okay, PK, please wait, Abi. PK, what do you say to what? How do you solve a problem like Ronald?
I didn't get the question. How do you solve a problem like what?
How do you solve a problem like Ronald?
Don't mind how.
Like Ronald? How?
Yes, how do you solve a problem like Ronald, who has gone and scattered all his oats, then came up to look for a homely girl, and
Well,
is
so
now
the thing is,
disturbing the rest of us?
yeah, so everybody has their moments of in quote insanity. Some blossom late, some blossom later on. Like I used to be also the in quote reverend gentleman. Now I am in quote a rascal, right? You know, everybody just has their own moments, right? That's looking back, I realized that's what it is, right? So who was saying that they blossom late? That Candy, right? So
Candy, yeah.
I was about her age, or maybe a little, I think, yeah, about her age when I also first ever had sex, right? So I was the like straight jacket guy. Now I am the anyhow jacket guy. You know, I mean, I'm just saying that I flip to the opposite.
I don't care. I will still marry you.
No, I'm bringing this home. So right now, before I used to think, you know what, you get married, then you have sex for the first night. Now I'm like, if you don't test that package, do not sign a life contract. Very simple, right? Before, like we say these days, stories that touch the heart basically come and capture you, right? You gotta sign a life contract. Then you find out that you want to return it right after you sign the life contract. But they've told you that you have to keep it for the rest of your life and manage it. Then they start telling you that it is not everything, it is not important. Meanwhile, you are the one who is burning within. You're the one who is actually suffering the consequences of an action you were forced to take by external voices. And they go home and they're okay, at peace with whatever package they have. You have to live with the package that you will not have signed for if only you had tested it. So the thing is, like in the so-called society Nigeria, where sex is a taboo, they blew to 200 million people. I don't know what's going on. When NEPA takes light and all those people come out of camp and all those other places where they retrieve for spiritual listening, something else is going on. I'm probably the most naive person on earth because I don't know how 200 million people came to be. Maybe
250 million, no, not 200 million.
Maybe that story that they told me when I was a little boy that children come out of the mouth. Maybe that's what's really going on. Maybe I have my biology totally wrong. But from what I learned, actually, something is going on, and I'm the only one who did not know. I was naive for a very long time. So before I sign any package now, actually, part of the thing though is that you see, one of the things is like I agree that you have to be on the same wavelength. And what that means is this: if sex is a high priority for me, and it's not a high priority for the person who I am trying to date, then it already tells us that we're going to have clashes in that area, right? So some people are able to. Again, if I roll back in time, there were some people that are like, oh my goodness, this brother is so strong. Anywhere he sits down. He's not going to try anything funny. He can be with you till 12 midnight. Guess what? Later on, after they married, I now find out that the brother had very low libido all this while. Right? And it has become a problem later on. Like, okay, then you now see the same sister who is now, older, bolder, who is now saying that, why am I the one who has to initiate sex all the time? Well, because the guy had low libido, you thought it was an amazing thing then. Meanwhile, someone like us now, they always have to tell us, calm down. Oh yeah, walk around a little bit. Your body is too hot. Right?
PK, do you know what you just said reminded me of something? I've shared this, I think I've shared this on a group, or I've shared it on my Facebook before. And I can't believe I'm sharing this online. But anyways, I always speak the truth. So I will
don't
say,
share it. If you can't believe, don't share it, please.
No, I will share it. I will share it.
I don't want to receive a phone call.
Wait,
I don't want to receive a phone call.
I met this guy, and he was handsome, tall, gorgeous, intelligent. Oh my God, his brain was sexy. Like intelligent. He made me laugh. He was caring, everything, like everything. At the point, I was like, nah, this guy is too good to be true. Like, there has to be something wrong somewhere, you know? And, you know, he just, you know, it's not everyone I feel safe with. I have a thing. I don't feel safe with people being in my house. I have to really, really trust them. So if I have people over, sometimes I won't be able to sleep at all until they leave because I don't feel safe. But with him, I felt very safe, very okay. But I noticed that when we curled up, again, touch is one of my love languages. So I'm that person. I love to curl up. I love to. You don't have to be all over me, but just maybe put your hand on mine, that kind of thing. Let me know that you know. And we would sit and be watching TV, and he would be talking about and be laughing and everything. And me, I'm there curling up, expecting a little bit of stroke, a little bit of nothing. Guys just sitting there watching TV. This thing was going on a month, 2 months. And, you know, it was like, oh, I want us to really know each other before we, you know, like I really want us to be invested in each other before we start looking at anything sexually. And I was like, okay. So I was doing okay, no problem. It's very rare to see a white guy who is like that. So, okay, no problem. First month, second month. But at least, you know, let there be something that at least shows you that you are desired. You understand what I'm saying? Let there be an accidental something that makes you know that at least I'm desired. You understand? But kisses, I was the one that initiated them. Hugs, I was the one that initiated them. Guy was everything except touchy. So I called someone who is a respected person in my life. Very, very, you know, conk in the Lord and everything. And I was like, this is what's going on. Oh, I really like this guy. He's already giving me the key to his house and everything. We're already talking about our lives together. But I am just nervous because of this lack of, you know, I don't feel desired. I don't feel wanted. So I was like, okay, there are little ways you can check to see whether anything is going on and all that stuff. And I'm telling you, people of the internet who are watching and people of the panel who are looking at me, I found out that my big toe is bigger than what uncle was carrying. Like what? I'm telling you, when I saw it, I was like, am I seeing, am I like, what? It was, I was stunned. And I'm going to confess, I was very fickle. I did not say much. I kept quiet, and you know, he was like, "Oh, he got caught in a zip," and I was like, was your zip made with razors or what?" Because I'm trying to understand what happened here. But okay, no problem. I won't follow you and argue. And the very next day, after he left for work, I posted his key through his door and lost his number and took off to my house because, in spite of every other thing that he fulfilled, that was a major, big part of what I also needed. And I could not fool myself. Even if I wanted to fool the world, even if I wanted to be holy and righteous and everything, I knew that if I went into that relationship and it ended in I was going to cheat from Timbuktu all the way to Zamfara and back. And I don't want to be that person. I knew that I didn't want to go into a union and be cheating. I wanted to be faithful. So I had to make the executive decision to walk away. So we've already got past our time, but any closing remarks, and then I'll finish. Anyone wants to comment on that?
I think you didn't you didn't pray about it. You could have asked Ron. If you had prayed about it, maybe miracle could have abound. You know, for people who believe in miracle, something could happen. You can, there are church programs that you will go to that they will say, Father Lord, enlarge my this thing, and you know, power must change. And so I don't know. I'm trying not to laugh because I'm really.
I want to say thank you to Candy, to Abi, to PK, to Yinka, to T, to Seno. Unfortunately, couldn't come on. To some other people who came on. Unfortunately, couldn't come on. To Ron, of course, as always. Thank you, guys. Honestly,
You didn't say hi. You didn't say thank you to Ron, the previous one.
I said
You didn't
Ron.
say-
I said
No, the
Ron
previous
as
one.
always.
The previous
Ronald.
one. The
To
previous
Ronald.
one.
What?
The previous one.
I apologize for not mentioning Ronald in the previous show. I mentioned him twice, 3 times now to cover everything.
That is
Thank you,
my
guys.
simple
Honestly, I
sister.
really appreciate it. Thank you
Just
so
don't
much for your
understand.
time. We do not take it for granted. We know that you're very, very busy people. So thank you so much. Well, this is the end of the show. Until same time, same place.
Wait,
It is
thank you for the card.
MungalowCroonings.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, he's showing the card I sent to him. Okay, thank you.
And he
Okay.
ended up spelling my name.
Okay. Well,
He
bye,
misspelled
guys.
my name.
Bye.
Bye.